There's honestly something magical that happens when you eat a freshly baked chocolate chip cookie that just brings this like really nice warm feeling directly to your heart. But there is one thing that is kind of a pain about making chocolate chip cookies, and that is honestly just the fact that you kind of have to prepare the dough, and then you also have to wait for your oven to preheat before you can. And to make really good chocolate chip cookies, you also have to leave the dough in the fridge for a minimum of at least 1 to 2 hours, going up to 24 and even 48 hours if you would like to really get flavor and texture. And on top of that, I personally don't think they taste as good the next couple days after you bake them. I truthfully believe that I almost said something kind of sus. Chocolate chip cookies taste best the same day that they are made. So in today's video, guys, we're going to be putting the Ninja Foodie to the test to see if it can actually compete with a regular oven in making chocolate chip cookies.
So for this recipe, I'm going to be using exactly 1 cup of butter. And a cool thing is, if you didn't know, if you have these types of like rectangular butters, you can actually see right there. I know I kind of moved it off camera there, but you can actually see the actual measurement on the actual stick with actual guided lines. So I'm just gonna so you don't actually need to weigh your butter out. If you want to be more specific, feel free and go ahead. I would actually recommend it. But to make things a little bit faster, I'm actually just going to cut it exactly at the line, which indicates 1 cup of butter. Now, fast forwarding a couple minutes later, the butter is almost done browning. And I know that because a lot of the solids at the bottom turn brown, and there is a nice nutty scent that comes off of it. And from what you can see now is that I transferred it to a container that I'm going to be putting in my fridge so that it can cool off.
Okay, so while we are essentially waiting for the brown butter to cool down, and the reason for why we want it to be cool, guys, is because if you were to actually mix it in right away while it's hot, your cookies are gonna end up being super flat and oily at the end of them, which isn't what you want. You want them to be crunchy, you want them to be kind of soft on the inside, and you want them to be kind of crunchy on the outside. That's like, at least those are the type of cookies that I want.
While I was waiting for the brown butter to cool down in my fridge, I decided to start to prep the rest of the ingredients that I needed. Starting off by cutting up semi-sweet chocolate that I have from it's called Baker's. It's like a Baker's chocolate. It's a semi-sweet chocolate that's really, really good quality. It tastes very delicious. I decided to cut those up, to break them down, and to put them on the side. As you guys can see, all of the actual numbers, all the values that you need are on the screen. So you guys, if you want to know the values of whatever it is that I'm using, or like the actual product itself, it is going to be on the screen for you guys to see. So as you guys saw, I put the flour by itself, and I decided to put the brown sugar, the white sugar, the baking soda, and the salt all together. And I'm gonna cream those together with the egg and the vanilla extract. Oh my God, I almost messed that up. I don't know how I almost messed that up. But yeah, I put all of those together because I find it's easier to make sure that those are well incorporated compared to the other stuff.
So by now, it's been about 15 to 20 minutes, and the brown butter has cooled down. I have it right over here. I actually ended up putting it in the freezer because it was taking a little bit too much time in the fridge. So I'm gonna get it into a bowl over here. And if you have a stand mixer, feel free to use your stand mixer. I don't own a stand mixer, so I'm gonna be doing it the good old fashioned way with a whisk that I have right over here and a bowl. So I'm going to put my sugar in. I actually have the sugar with the salt and the baking soda in here. I'm just gonna put these all into my bowl, making sure that I get basically everything as much as possible. And some of the butter started to actually solidify on the sides of my actual little container that I have over here. And you guys, if you see all this little residue at the bottom, you guys want this stuff, by the way. Do not toss it out. You really want to have that in your cookies. Trust me on this one. We're gonna go in with the egg. We're gonna mix in the whisk in this egg. Nope, I'm just gonna put it in. I'm gonna be putting in about 2 of these little squirts of vanilla. Reach the part at the end where all we gotta do is add in our flour. And I actually like to add in the chocolate chips around the same time, just so I don't have to mix as much to add in to incorporate both of them. Good? There you guys have it. Here is your cookie dough. What we're gonna be doing with this is we're going to wrap it. So what we're gonna do now is that since we actually have our cookie dough that's done, all I'm gonna do is put some cling film on the top, and we're gonna leave it in our fridge for about an hour. You can even leave it in your freezer for about half an hour or even 1 hour if you want as well. And then from there, at about the 30-minute mark, I'm gonna start to preheat my oven. We're gonna preheat our oven to, I think it's 350, if I'm correct. No, 320, 325. Okay, anyways, we're gonna end up preheating our oven to, I think it's 350. We're just gonna preheat to 350. 350 should be fine. And then I'm gonna get the air fryer ready as well. And as soon as these are good to go, we're gonna actually make the dough balls, and then we're gonna try to compare them to see how everything goes. So I'll catch you guys back in about an hour to an hour and a half-ish, depending on what's going on in my life. My dough became pretty firm during that time. This is what my dough looks like now. And you can actually, I don't even need to bring it to temp. It actually is pretty decent. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get myself a nice little ball. Now for your cookie, depending on if you're gonna be making yourself a lot of cookies or just one cookie, you don't really need to like necessarily measure them out. It all depends on if you're gonna be giving them eating them just for yourself, or if you're going to be, making a lot of cookies for a bunch of people. So in this situation, I'm just gonna make myself some nice little cookie bowls that are basically around the same size. Kind of fits like this in my palm. I have kind of small hands.
So at this point, what you're gonna do is you're gonna take a tray. I like to use this little baking tray that I got over here on Amazon. And if you don't have one, then
I really don't know what you're gonna do. What I'm gonna do here is actually take my little stick of butter, and I'm just gonna gently rub it on the place where I am gonna want my cookie. And that's just to ensure that it doesn't stick.
Now, in terms of actually using the butter to kind of use as a, as like lube to put on your tray, you really don't have to. I only did this because I was insecure, since this was the first time I was using this tray and I didn't know how it was going to actually perform for these cookies. So I put it, but I did another test essentially the next day, and I didn't put any butter at all. And you really don't have to. You don't have to grease it. I mean, look, if you have one that you might need to, feel free to use it. Feel free to use like a wax paper, parchment paper, or whatever it is that you use for your cookies, but overall you don't have to.
Air doesn't have contact with the bottom of the actual cookies themselves. And we're gonna do the exact same thing. We're gonna take our stick of butter, and we are just going to slightly dab up the middle, just to make sure that the cookie doesn't stick to it, or that's just a little easier for me to remove it when it's done. You guys can see there's a little bit of gloss on there as well. So we're gonna go into our cookie dough once again. And I'm gonna make myself a pretty decent one. I know we're gonna do the same size. To kind of keep it consistent, we're gonna keep them around the same size as the other ones. And I'm just gonna literally put it, as you can see, in the middle, right over here, just like that. In it. But before we do that, we're gonna have to preheat the actual Ninja Fruity. It doesn't take that much time, so that's pretty cool. I'm just gonna plug it in. Okay, cool. So at this point, all we're gonna do is we're gonna turn it on, just like so. We're gonna hit the bake button, and we're gonna set the oven to, we're gonna cook it for 12 minutes. But we're gonna set the temp to about 350. Go, and we're gonna be right back as soon as this is done. All right, guys, so as you guys just heard, it's telling me to add in the food, even though it is just gonna be a cookie. As you guys can see, I still have the cookie that's here. And we're just gonna put this in. This needs to go on this side, just like so. And we're gonna leave that. And as soon as that's in, that's going to cook, we're gonna be putting these 4 cookies into the oven. Okay, so while that's going, guys, what we're gonna be doing is that we're gonna be waiting for this. This is gonna be the indicator. It's gonna be 12 minutes, and then that should be enough time for the cookies in the oven to be done, but at the same time for this one to be done here. So all we have to do is wait 12 minutes to see what actually happens. Okay guys, so what I did is that I actually just turned this guy off over here because it seems to me like this cookie is actually done. Okay guys, these just came out of the oven. The reason for why I'm doing it like this is I really want you guys to see that I didn't try to gyp you guys on which cookies are which. Now, for this one, it's gonna be a little tricky, I'm not gonna lie, because I gotta remove this whole tray. I don't want to burn myself. I want you guys to see. Almost got it here. There you go. Oof, I want to burn myself. You see, those are the 4 cookies that we had on the tray. This is the 1 cookie that we still have over here. You guys can see, it might be a little blurry. Sorry about that. So guys, what we're gonna be doing is we're gonna let these cool down a little bit on the rack for about 5 to 10 minutes. And essentially, in that time, the cookie is gonna solidify a little bit more. It's gonna be easier for me to move them. And then we're gonna leave them on the tray to cool down for another 5 to 10 minutes. And from there, we will be able to actually eat them and give you like a pretty decent, I guess, what would you call it? Comparison to let you know, how do I, what do I think about these cookies? Now, yeah, I'll be back in about 10 minutes, guys. I'll be back. All right, guys, so it has been about 5 minutes and these cookies did cool down just enough in which I am able to actually take them and transfer them to a wired rack for them to cool down. Now, is there a real difference that you guys could really see between them? Not really. The only thing I would say is that this one has like some more cracks in it compared to these ones. These ones look to be a little bit more flush and even, while now this one is looking to be a little bit more cracky. Now, I don't know if that's a bad thing or a good thing. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pour myself a glass of milk in a nice little mason jar. Just enough. We're gonna be drinking almond milk because your boy can't do regular milk. Okay, we're gonna start off with this one over here. It still might be a little bit too soft. Nice and melty. Before we finish things off, we're gonna top these cookies with a little bit of nice flaky salt. Very, very, very soft, guys. Like, these need to set a lot more. This is like, it's still like very melty. Oh my God. Oh, what the hell? Oh my God. The flavor is amazing. Holy crap. I think we still gotta try this one kind of soon. Just because we wanna see the goopy versus goopy, and then like we're gonna let it sit down for like an actual 10 minutes and do the difference to see how it is. So this is the air fryer cookie, guys. I don't know if I'm placeboing myself because I just had cookie after cookie, but the air fryer one wasn't as good. I don't know if I'm tripping. I guess I gotta take another bite of this one. If I could take another bite of this one, these ones did come out a little later in the oven. Yeah. Yeah, placebo. I think they're just the same, bro. Take one more bite of the air fryer cookie. And then we're gonna let this one cool down, and then we're gonna come back. Go back to this one. Very strange. Very strange. Oh. I don't know. I feel like I like the regular oven ones better. Okay, guys. We are officially done the test between regular cookie and air fryer cookie. Honestly, like I still think the oven one that I have right here, I'll show you it. I still think that this cookie is overall better than this cookie. But overall, if I had a choice to really just make one cookie real quick in the air fryer, I would take it. So personally, I think this video is 100% a success. Guys, if you ever want to make a cookie in the air fryer, feel free to do it. You get my approval. I'm about to pass out. So much sugar. I can't speak anymore. As always, hope you guys had a really good day. And I'll catch you guys in the next one.